Welcome, sisters. Our talk today is Elder Cook's talk from last General Conference in October 2020, entitled Hearts Knit in Righteousness and Unity. First, we're going to read a pioneer story, one that Elder Cook had shared that exemplified when people love God with all their hearts and righteously strive to become like Him, there is more unity. And then we're going to discuss a modern day story that's also a wonderful example of love and unity. Elder Cook recounted this story from the pioneer days of Union General Thomas Kane and his accomplished wife, Elizabeth Kane. They traveled from their home. They went to Salt Lake City and then accompanied Brigham Young on a trip south. They went along their way to St. George. They stopped at the home of Thomas and Matilda King in Fillmore, Utah. While there, Matilda prepared a meal for Brigham Young and his traveling companions. While she was making that meal, 5 American Indians came to the door, and they were very accustomed to one another. Matilda spoke to them in their language. Well, this was so fascinating to Elizabeth Kane. She was like, wow, Native Americans? And so she turned to the Matilda King's son and asked, what did your mother say to them? And he said, my mother told them that you had arrived first and she was going to serve you first. But meanwhile, their dinner was cooking, and after she served you, that she would serve them. Well, Elizabeth thought, well, why wouldn't she just give them some scraps at the back door? And maybe that's what she was used to. And instead, the son said, oh no, she will serve them just as she will serve you. So the Native Americans patiently waited and they enjoyed their meal too. And that it made such a profound impression upon Elizabeth Kane, and her view of the Mormons greatly increased. And now for a modern day story. That story is our story, the Cottonwood 16th Ward, our Relief Society, our story. So enjoy. We began 2020 with a fabulous activity that the Provident Living Committee had organized for us and had guest speakers, Jerry Nelson, a microbiologist, and Pam Burt, a pharmacist. It was fabulous. How inspired. It was very inspired just prior to the pandemic for us. So thank you, Provident Living Committee, for preparing us so very well and being inspired prior to this pandemic. In February, we did, in conjunction with a ministering interviews, we met in the Relief Society room, and you had the option to write a Valentine, color a Valentine, make a Valentine for sisters, and then several sisters delivered those. So thank you to Linda Gee, our Relief Society humanitarian coordinator, and we combined with the young women to make Valentines for sisters in our ward. And thank you to the young women who also helped to deliver these Valentines to some special sisters. We, as the Relief Society, did Valentine's, as well as this darling sister reached out individually to a family that she has been ministering to. So, lovely Carol Scalzon helped Sam Muhammad make this darling Valentine box for school. Our Stake Relief Society hosted a fabulous activity. It was mid March. It was within days of our governor announcing social distancing and limiting group meeting numbers. This shows several of, not all, but several of the sisters that brought beautiful things that showed of their testimony for the first vision, the restoration of the gospel, and also sisters such as Kristen Cannon bore her testimony that evening after the dinner. Our lives changed drastically. However, you found ways to serve. First, on a statewide level, we helped with Project Protect, and that was through the General Relief Society Board, and that was for healthcare workers sewing masks. On a stake level, we sewed masks for the 17th branch, and that is known as the Ridge, which is the healthcare, the senior center on 5600 South. And on a ward and neighbor basis, you helped so many. So also, if anyone couldn't sew, like doesn't have a sewing machine, just doesn't know how to sew, you donated fabric, you offered to cut out fabric, you donated supplies. So thank you so very much, sisters. So many of you were sewing masks and helping to make masks. So I just wanted to give a shout out to one sister in particular, Carol Scalzon. She has sewn over 400 masks for relatives, neighbors, the Ridge, Amy Burton's school, her former school, Twin Peaks Elementary, the Navajo Nation, and so many others. So, Carol, thank you so very much. As a member of our Relief Society and sister in our neighborhood, we so appreciate all that you've done for us. And here's Juanita Pope modeling one of the masks made for her, and also the Whiteman children modeling masks made by Carol. Continuing our modern day story of hearts knit in righteousness and unity, highlighting our Relief Society from 2020. We're going to see a convert baptism. There were other baptisms this past year, but this is the convert baptism. Births that occurred, marriages that occurred, loved ones that passed on, a Zoom activity that we did, and our lovely primary president, Fran Hansen, spoke to us during our Relief Society. And there's also an update from Madeline Johansson, our young woman president. This was not a Relief Society activity. However, we were invited. The primary creatively figured out a way to welcome and congratulate Sam while social distancing. So Don and Carol Scalzon made a fabulous sign. They displayed it in the back of their truck. We did this honk and drive by that the primary had organized, and it was just a really lovely way to welcome and congratulate Sam. Our first Relief Society sister to welcome a new baby to their family is Charla Clark, and she and her husband Garrett welcomed baby girl Josie in April. Charla is the first counselor in the primary. Congratulations. Paul and Kristen Baird welcomed their second daughter, Annie, in June. Kristen is a primary teacher. Congratulations to the Baird family. A darling baby girl, Charlotte, the first in their family, first girl, was welcomed by the Hamby family in July. So excited for you and want to wish you much happiness and a big congratulations. The Gailey family welcomed their first baby, a darling boy, Teddy, in August. And Taylor, she was formerly our Relief Society secretary. So here is Teddy dressed up for Halloween as one of the Toy Story characters, Dorky. Congratulations to you. So happy for you.